my name is Stu Fuchs. Thanks for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be playing a ukulele rendition of John Lennon's classic Norwegian Wood. It was on the Beatles album Rubber Soul. I made this chord solo arrangement for it. I also tabbed it out with great accuracy. There's correct left-hand fingerings. It's a really cool tab sheet. You can pick it up with the link in the description below. And please stick around for the end of this video. I'm going to be giving some performance tips and also some ways that you can create some embellishments. It's nice to treat these chord solos like it's an improvisation, and you can start to make them your own very easily, actually. So stick around to the end of the video and I'm going to share that stuff with you. Alright, so just a couple of things before we get started. First off, Norwegian Wood is in 12/8 time. That means that there are 12 eighth notes in every bar. And you'd count them like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could also feel them as 4 slow beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3. Always feel this rocking motion. It's like a sea shanty. Notice the strum pattern. This rhythm will always be in the background the whole time of the solo. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Finally, note that you can play the solo just fine on any uke, whether it's high G string or low G string ukulele. Alright, so there you have it, Norwegian Wood by the Beatles, John Lennon's classic song. Pretty easy solo arrangement as far as chord solos go. And it's cool, you can play the sitar line, the melody line. If you haven't already done it, please pick up the tab. There's a link in the description below. There are also some free tabs available on my website, stufuchs.com. Your support, so appreciated. The first thing I want to cover is this tricky chord. It's in the bridge. It's a D minor 7 chord. This is a voicing of D minor 7, and it comes at the point where I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. And then it goes to a G chord. So here's what you do. Put your first finger on the 4th string, 7th fret. Put your 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. And your 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Then what you have to do is you have to flatten the 2nd finger to get this little hinge bar. The finger has to do that. Now before you start to say, I can't do it, don't do that automatically. Wait and see what happens. First of all, know 2 things. One, your knuckle may not be that flexible yet, but it will be. So gently work it. Don't overdo it. You don't want it to fly off or anything. Just keep it gentle. And you will eventually get more flexibility. It happened to me, it can happen to you. I've noticed people put their wrist too far forward, like that. So if you bring the wrist back, watch what happens to the finger. It naturally comes back and helps to flatten out that string. Alright, so make sure that your wrist is back. And then finally, always make sure that you practice this chord in this way. Squeeze and release. Train the hand to relax. Alright, it may take a little while, your fingers may hurt for a little while, but if you break often, you'll get it. Alright, little performance tip number 2. Hammer-ons and pull-offs. These are slurs. So the first passage goes like this. Just playing it kind of plainly. When I add slurs to it, those would be hammer-ons and pull-offs, what I'm doing is I'm playing this, then I play the double stop, that's the top strings, and immediately after I play it, I hammer on with my pinky. And you may be saying to me, well, that's not going to work. Your fingers are skinny, man. Maybe my fingers are skinny, but I'm convinced that if you just angle your finger a little bit and train the pinky, you can find the place where it lands. All right? It may take a little while, but you can do it. So check it out. I pluck once, and here's how you train. Just make one clear sound and then relax. Practice that alone. Pretty soon, your pinky will get strong. Can you hear that? It's hammering, that's why they call it a hammer. It's hammering, making a nice clear sound. Then the pull-off is plucking with the pinky. So I hammer and pull off. Okay? You can even add a trill there. So I pluck, hammer, pull off, and that. So these are all ornamentations, they're decorations of the melody. And finally, slides. Slides, just like hammer-ons and pull-offs, add a lot of musicality to your playing. They're also great for your hand. They force your hand into proper relaxed technique because it's very difficult to do a really good slide and be tight and tense at the same time. It really forces you to relax. So here's how I recommend practicing a slide. This is the passage we're going to use it on. Makes it sing. Step 1, determine where am I sliding to. Well, I'm sliding to the 7th fret and the 6th fret. I'm also including the open G string. So just keeping my eye on the target, I try to only land there. Now, the difference in the way I'm recommending this to be practiced is that instead of just doing it again and again, without ever taking in what you do it just once correctly. Only once. And notice what happens. The key is that you have to notice what happens with great kindness to yourself. Don't judge yourself at all if you go too far, or if you don't go far enough, or if you just get a sound like this. Just notice what happens. Pause. Take it in. Pay attention to the body and what it's doing. Then you do it again. And when you can do it once successfully, relax in between. Taking that extra 3 seconds really makes your practice deeper and more calm, and will really build one success on top of another. Instead of lots and lots of tension, you build a relaxed pattern of success. Pause. You do this a few times. The party's not over though. We have now the slide away from this note. It's the 3rd finger on the 8th fret. So I pluck it and I just release. Notice if my hand is tight, it's not going to work very well. So I have to just let go and notice my whole thumb is moving. So the whole hand's moving. It's not that you have to wait till it's right at the 1st fret and then release. It's just somewhere musical. Alright, listen for it. Okay. And then you land on your other target. And I'm squeezing just a little bit to make some vibrato. Pulling the string towards the floor and then releasing it. All these topics, slides, trills, vibrato, hammer-ons, pull-offs, They're deep subjects, and I'll make some videos about them soon. Right. Let's do it again. Uh-oh. Train yourself to do that. Develop a knee-jerk reaction to smile and welcome your mistakes. Because your mistakes, believe it or not, they're your best friends. They're trying to tell you what to do. So welcome them in. See what happens when you do. And I take a pause, and I do it again. You know, it's a funny thing. The slower you go, the more space you give to your practice, the quicker you reach your goals. Try it out. See what happens.